Ladies and gentlemen, in less than 48 hours, history will be made at Madison Square Garden, the heart of New York City. The world's most famous arena sold out in just 3 hours for Trump, and now Hillary Clinton and the mainstream media are in full meltdown mode, showing just how terrified they are of what is coming. But here's what they're not telling you about this historic rally that has betting markets surging and the Democrat establishment in absolute panic. Now, you know what's fascinating? Well, Trump is about to make history at Madison Square Garden, looking more energetic than ever at his age. The left is desperately trying to show their aging candidates' vitality. And here's what they don't want you to know. After age 20, your body produces 12% less collagen each decade. That's why I trust healthwithgary.com's premium collagen formula. It's the same secret used by many political figures to maintain their stamina during grueling campaigns. So visit healthwithgary.com now for 51% off and discover why the elite are desperately trying to keep this breakthrough under wraps. Now, let's get into this. Madison Square Garden. This is huge, friends. It's sold out in just 3 hours for this rally on Sunday. And this is an epic event. Well, let's set the stage because I've got a lot to get through in this report. But this was back in October. I remember we reported on this, but here is Elise Stefanik, and she was just overjoyed to announce this massive rally.
In the great state of New York, we are so excited to have President Donald J. Trump, who is going to fill up Madison Square Garden. We are so excited. It's already sold out, and we know that we will flip the Senate and gain seats in our House Republican majority to work with President Trump on behalf of you to save this country. I'm honored to be here today. I'm honored to be with him when he is in New York, and we have to get this done. Thank you very much.
Elise Stefanik, she's overjoyed. We got reaction from Carrie Lake. Of course, Hillary Clinton, we've got that nasty clip of her openly targeting President Trump's Madison Square Garden rally as Trump surges in the polls. Let's take a look. Let's go back to October 10th. This is when Donald Trump kind of subtly remarked, he kind of glossed over it, like it's not a big deal, but yes, it's a big deal.
Play for New Jersey. We're doing Madison Square. We're going to go the arena in Atlanta, if we can get it. We're going to go the arena in New Jersey, if we can get it. You have to get it. But we're doing arenas because the crowds are so big. And we're making a play for New Jersey. We're making a play for Virginia. We're making a play for New York. New Mexico. Minnesota, where this lunatic comes from. I'm doing well, and you know why I'm doing well in Minnesota? Because he's running. It's supposed to be the opposite way, right?
So that was on October 10th. And now we're learning that CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, NPR, MSNBC, and PBS are promoting the Democrat talking point of calling President Trump a fascist. They roll out the traitor Hillary Clinton to spew her hate rhetoric, calling President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden a Hitler-style rally. This is the Democrats' anti-American plan. If you haven't seen the clip of Hillary Clinton talking like this, let's roll this tape and you'll see for yourself her nasty, nasty language.
Reenact. And one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it. And
yeah, well, again, we are not going to ignore it. Hillary Clinton, we are going to be there and we're going to push back on your nasty, nasty language. Let's go to Carrie Lake dropping some truth bombs on GBN America, calling out Hillary Clinton and the legacy media.
Incredible. If this is just gibberish and ridiculousness that is pushed by a media that has been trying to commit character assassination of an incredible man. And they've been doing this for now 9 years, almost going on a decade. I've never seen a smear campaign against one human being like I have against President Trump. I understand how the media works. It's propaganda. They've completely gone off the rails. They don't care about journalism. Anonymous sources. They throw a bunch of garbage out there. People who are hell-bent on destroying President Trump because they know he's going to get in office and end this corrupt system. Many people have held incredible events at Madison Square Garden, including Democrat politicians. I'm looking forward to another uplifting, high-energy rally from President Trump. This is just gibberish.
It's going to be high energy. It's going to be the most high energy that they have ever seen. Snowflake Tears writes, the most irrelevant lady in politics just claimed Donald Trump is going to Madison Square Garden in New York City this weekend to reenact the 1939 Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden. Just an FYI, Hillary Clinton hasn't been relevant since 2016. Yes, the crowds are so big that he's going to host rallies at Madison Square Garden. 3 hours, it was sold out. Giancarlo Sopo wrote this 12 hours ago. The way to understand President Trump's decision to hold a rally at Madison Square Garden is that he came of age when selling out the garden was the ultimate sign of success. Coincidentally, his rally is nearly 50 years to the day of Frank Sinatra's legendary comeback concert there. Think about that. That is something super cool. You know, again, Donald Trump, he grew up in New York, and seeing Madison Square Garden as a young boy and growing up, like being able to sell out that arena and walk in to that place. He's walked in there for UFC fights. You've seen the crowd go crazy for that. But this is the next level. This is Donald Trump in the triumphant return to New York City, where they tried to destroy him. They tried to end his businesses, kick him out of the city. But Donald Trump, he was such a good person to New York. He beautified the skyline. He beautified the parks. He helped the police. I mean, you need to go and see that film, The Man You Don't Know. It is now open in theaters today. You need to see it. Take your friends to go see it, because it shows the stories of people's lives who have been personally touched by Donald Trump. And the police officers in New York City who love and adore him, and the things he did to help battle crime when he wasn't even a politician. Okay, he was just a businessman. When all the politicians wouldn't do anything, Donald Trump stepped up to the plate. I spoke with one of those folks at Madison Square Garden who was in the film. I spoke with one of those folks who was at Mar-a-Lago, who was in the film, and he shared with me more details about his story, and it was just beautiful. So I want you guys to make sure you go and see that film. The Trump campaign slamming Hillary Clinton for claiming the ex-president will be reenacting 1939. Let's see what the New York Post has to say about this here. This big story from the New York Post today. Of course, before I dive into that, did you guys see the headline, the front page of the New York Post today? Donald Trump, Back to the Future. I thought this was awesome. And then I saw this.
To be the president of the when the people of this great country elect me to be the 47th president of the United States of America, you're going to see some serious shit.
If you guys know me, you know I love that movie Back to the Future. So when I saw this headline today, I said, I can't believe that this is the headline. I shared it with all my friends, all my DeLorean owner friends. I shared it with my wife. I said, you know what? This is proof positive that God has just crossed the streams and he put this cover out there. I couldn't believe it. I've got this DeLorean sitting on my desk. I love the movie. And the fact that this is here on the front page, I mean, it was just like, what? I mean, like Donald Trump and Back to the Future, and then this meme shows up. I couldn't believe it, but it was absolutely beautiful to witness that. I mean, it just means we're on the right track, friends. Donald Trump, he was happy to see the New York Post cover. When I'm in New York, I'm going to grab like 20 copies of this thing. I love the New York Post. Great election coverage. Thanks for the wonderful endorsement, Donald J. Trump. Now, where was that? Okay, let's go in deeper a little bit to get that reaction from what the Trump campaign said. Donald Trump's campaign slammed Hillary Clinton Thursday after the failed 2016 Democrat presidential candidate accused the Republican nominee of seeking to reenact the infamous Nazi rally held 85 years ago. The former New York Senator and Secretary of State made the shocking allegation after telling CNN host Caitlin Collins she believes Trump 78 is a fascist. Sadly, here in America, the term fits, Clinton said. As you know, one other thing you'll never see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally. So what did the Trump campaign say? Well, Trump campaign National Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt told the Post that Clinton likening the former president's upcoming Madison Square Garden rally to the disgraceful 1939 assembly was disgusting. Hillary is so messed up from her raging 8-year-long case of anti-Trump derangement syndrome that she forgot she did an event at Madison Square Garden when she was a senator and her husband Bill accepted the Democrat nomination there. Putting aside her hypocrisy, Hillary's rhetoric about half the country is disgusting, she added. So yeah, let's all remember that Hillary Clinton hosted her own rally there, as well as Bill Clinton accepting the nomination there. So that's the hypocrisy that's on full display. Here we have Guy Benson on Fox. He was reacting today as well. Let's take a look.
So in any case, Hillary Clinton was commenting on one of these upcoming rallies, which is not in any of the battleground states. Trump's doing plenty of those, as is his running mate. This one is coming up this weekend, Sunday, Madison Square Garden in New York. And I guess Hillary decided, there's an echo of history here, to make a really demented point, which she did in this CNN interview, cut 27.
One other thing that you'll see next week, President Frank, who essentially we're seeing
in 1939. But this is now the former Democratic Secretary of State and, twice failed presidential candidate. She was their nominee. You can critique Donald Trump even sharply in a number of ways. Sometimes I'll think you're wrong. Sometimes I'll think you'll have a point. Going full Nazi the way they are trying to do, number one, again, I don't think that this forecasts sunny things for them in 11 days. At least how they're reading the room, they are sweating profusely and screaming fascist. It's kind of like an even broader, more disgusting, more venomous version of this, cut 31.
you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
The deplorables comment, that was 2016. Now it's just like Nazis. They are Nazi reenactors gathering at Madison Square Garden to celebrate fascism. This is how they're closing. It doesn't really seem like the best plan.
Definitely not the best plan. It just shows their desperation, and that's all it really is. So the Trump campaign slamming. Okay, here's the other thing. Madison Square Garden is already plastered with Kalshi betting odds, heavily in favor of Donald Trump, right in the heart of New York City. Here is Ashley St. Clair. Madison Square Garden is going to be historic. See you guys there. So this is the call. I'm not familiar with these online betting. I don't participate in those types of things, but they're already showing these odds in real time in around Madison Square Garden. New York Post, one of the biggest newspapers in the country, has just endorsed President Trump, calling him the clear choice for a better future. Quote, we must choose the following: a secure border and a sensible immigration system, safer cities and support for law and order, a thriving, low-tax, low-regulation economy for all, fueled by an energy policy that supports, not penalizes, industry and households, common sense policies that restore the power of parents to choose what's best for their children on school choice, gender surgery, and trans athletes playing in female sports, an America that's respected on the world stage, feared by our enemies and trusted by our allies. Only one candidate can credibly claim to lead us there. That is Donald Trump. The Post frequently critical of Trump, but even they understand the magnitude of this moment. All huge news coming out of New York City. Back to the future. Have you guys ever wondered what a day in the life of Donald Trump is? What it looks like? Brian, roll a vertical, and let's play this clip here of Donald Trump. This is a day in the life. This was put out a little while ago. I saw it, and I was really I was captivated. Let's watch.
Bills down in Michigan. Starting our day off bright and early, it is 7:30 a.m. and we are leaving Trump Tower and heading to Fox Studios. President Trump was excited to join Fox and Friends live from the famous curvy couch. Never far behind are the men who keep our boss safe every day, and we are thankful for them. The day continues rolling as he joins Dan Bongino for a live stream, and he never leaves without signing a MAGA hat. Now on to our third interview of the morning with legendary WWE's Mark Calloway, also known as The Undertaker. We film a quick TikTok, depart the city, and 2 hours later, we are wheels down in Michigan. President Trump stops by to shake hands and thank the tireless Michigan campaign team. The motorcade heads to our next stop, where President Trump arrives to speak at a roundtable on building America's future. If you're lucky, he may even sign your shirt. Pulling into our final event of the day, and before he heads on stage, he always makes time to take photos with law enforcement. And now the fun begins. There is nothing like the energy of a Trump rally. President Trump delivers his promise to make America safe and prosperous again. It's not over until you see the iconic Trump dance. And just when you think he might be finished, he has his fourth interview of the day and calls into a tele-rally for Carrie Lake. It's 1 a.m. back in New York City, and that's a wrap. Starting our day off bright and early, it is
1 a.m. from like 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. The man does not stop fighting. Obviously we know Joe Biden could never pull that off. Kamala Harris, she doesn't do that many interviews at all. And when she does, she puts her foot in her mouth and makes it clear that she's not fit to lead. Not let alone her policies. What policies? She can't even articulate her policies. But Newsmax has stated that the former President Donald Trump, you can go back to the horizontal, Brian. Former President Donald Trump will use his Sunday rally at Madison Square Garden to deliver one final message ahead of Election Day. Vice President Kamala Harris broke America and that he will fix it. That is according to reports. And because of you guys, I will be there. My wife will be there by my side, and we have the VIP passes. We're going to be heading there every single step. So this is a historic moment for all of us, and we're going to be there thanks to you. Now, the stage is set for what could be the most significant political rally in New York City's history. As we prepare for our live coverage from Madison Square Garden, we're seeing unprecedented enthusiasm in a deep blue state. So the question remains, could this historic rally be the moment that proves New York is in play for 2024? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Will Trump's Madison Square Garden rally flip New York red? I want to hear from you.